All right, Sean, this is a little rough, um, but hopefully you'll get my drift on it as I start approaching and drawing in closer to here. And what I got is I got these three little battleships that I got from You Sank My Battleship game. There's three of them, and you start noticing how the surface starts refracting up. Well, that to me is where you get um, the mirroring effect. Once that becomes a mirror, see how it's cutting off the bottom of the black thing and totally cuts off the boats. The boats would be underneath that mirror and totally hidden. But also look where the table actually is. It even starts mirroring out, and it looks like that boat is kind of like floating in the air to the right. But you can see the one in the middle with the black background. And this is why I kind of had different colors in the background, was to show that the black actually showed up much better, and you could actually see that the water or the surface, then you see the boat, and you see the object beyond it. And obviously my camera is above the table. I made sure of it. um, my table's about maybe 6 foot long, and again, this is rough. I wish I had better lighting when I did this, but I didn't. So I used my one of the tools to brighten up the screen a little bit. But you also see that big bright spot in the center. That's where the light is refracting or reflecting off the edge of the table. And I do zoom or focus in on the edge of the table. As you can see, these boats, they look at they're at different distances from the camera too, with the big boat turned parallel to me. That's the longest boat. That's like the aircraft carrier, and the other ones are kind of like look like little boats. One's They're all different sizes too. And here's where I zoom in on um, the edge of the table, and actually you see this Fata Morgana going on um, just above that refraction line. And here, you can still see how I got this. I've got a round magnifying glass, and I believe it is tapered. In the middle, it's a little bit thicker compared to the edges. And this is what's kind of like causing the displacement. Well, it's not kind of what's causing it. It is causing the displacement. There's no doubt about it in my mind. Um, and what they all failed to explain was what was actually happening. When you put a magnifying glass up and you magnify things, well, the surface gets magnified up, and the objects farther beyond get magnified, but they go down. Any object that gets magnified, it magnifies in all directions, um, lengthwise, um, upward, and downward. Now, what happens to the object when it's it can't go down? Well, it gets compressed. I mean, look at where the I mean, everything's compressed. I mean, you can't even really see that boat. You see its reflection off the table too, which is cool. Um, multiple, but see, you're really not seeing any more of the table. When I put this magnifying glass, you're seeing less of the background. Everything in the background is getting pulled down, and that's why I said I need to do this under better lighting and maybe have some different colored objects there. But there's multiple things occurring. Um, and of course, one of them is that refracted light. I'm going to call it refracted because that's what I think causes this this glare off the water creates that mirror. Now I've got uh, a lot of footage toward those islands that I'm always filming where when there's mirroring there, everything is like it appears to be drawn down, but what I think is happening is this mirroring is going upward, which obviously right here you can see that refracted light going upward. Now imagine that being a mirror and you can't see nothing below it. And that's how I see a lot of my videos when I got heavy mirroring. That mirroring effect causes things to vanish. And then you have what you're doing on top of all of this other stuff, the displacement, the magnification, and then you have these atmospheric conditions, which you obviously show occurs with different surface temperature compared to air temperature. We get these different effects. And so we got everything working against us out there doing these observations. But through, these little tests that we do, you do, I do, um, here's where I focus in on just the edge of the table, that light that's reflecting off the table. But no way is my camera below this edge. It's actually above it and quite a bit. Again, I made sure I was at least like a half an inch above the table. Um, and my camera is just a little way away from the camera, so when I zoomed out I could not hit the table or hit the magnifying glass. But man, it'd be cool if you could use somehow work a magnifying glass into your little experiments that you do, these tests. Now people say, oh, it's not an experiment. Well, to me it's an experiment. We are testing out our um, theories, our hypothesis. And when we test out our hypothesis, we of course now I raised the camera up a little bit right here, okay, because I wanted to see, well, if I go up higher, will I get something any different? Well, not really. And again, I'm out of focus, and that's one thing too. Everything at all different distances, you should have to refocus on it even if you got an autofocus. You When I have my camera on autofocus, it tries to focus in on the closest object, and then it tries to zoom. It goes in and out of focus, in and out of focus, because I got so many objects that are at different distances. The camera doesn't know what to focus on, so I'm always fighting with that focus. But one of the ways I know when things are true to I, without all of this these different conditions, these different effects, um, how things seem to be farther away, and I have to focus on them as they get further and further away. Where on other days, I can set it at a one focus, like I can focus on the Bayport bird rack, and everything beyond it stays in the same focus. And here's another thing too. Why do we see boats traveling on that same line all the time, but they don't change as far? I mean, they get further away, but they're still riding on that same water line. That's because of this magnification. You can either magnify it up or down. You can change the well, I'm not sure if you're really even changing the height, but you're not being able to see any different when it gets displaced upward. You're not seeing any further. Actually, you're seeing less distance because this actually cuts it off. You get everything. The whole horizon changes, and even if that back part comes up, it's actually blocking out more of your horizon, if you know what I mean. It's because the real horizon is below that. So, right here, you see how I can change it. All right, I'm going to add something to this too. All right, check this out, Sean. Uh, want to talk about towering? Um, Actually, what you're looking at is atmospheric mirroring, where you can see everything start to develop a mirror image above the object, just like we'd see below the object, but this is above it. And everything you're seeing right here is actually displaced upward anyhow, which is crazy, which is crazy. Um, I made a bunch of videos of this particular day, and I put them on YouTube under 2219. And then the first one had the times on it. I'll send you the link to that video, um, one of them at least. And then if you want to look at the other ones, you just have to go down through my videos and try to find them. Um, but it's crazy because you actually see it's almost like a mirror above a mirror above a mirror. Because at one point you'll see an inverted, you'll see the boat, and then you'll see a boat above it, upside down, and then a boat above it, right side up. Ah, so what the hell are we seeing? I actually thought the one in the middle was the well, I think I get one part where I get almost like four of them or something, and I thought it was the one in the middle. Um, but now I look at this closer and I'm like, no, 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 no. Uh, this, this is some really crazy footage. And the sad part about it is I got maybe 220 views, 225 views on this particular one. And I think I got less and less and less as the time went on with the other parts. I think I went up to like 14 parts, even though for some reason I don't see them in my videos. Maybe I gave up, just threw the last one in and said heck with it. I don't know. Um, I know I got up to 14 parts. Maybe I just didn't, like I said, maybe I didn't upload them all. But check this boat out, man. I mean, it's going to do some crazy shit here. But wait, I mean, this isn't even part of it right here. It's going to get even crazier yet. And that's why I didn't see this other boat. It's farther back. I mean it's quite a ways out there farther than this boat. But look at it. It's got another boat of its own image upside down above it. Fata Morgana. Well, that's what they call it, right? Well, I just see it as double vision. Instead of that mirroring being below it, it's above it. And really where that boat's at isn't where you might think it's at. And here shortly, uh, I'll just let it do its thing, and then afterward I'll cut this video short because I think it was like 15, 14 minutes long or something. But I think I'm going to let it go up to um, just a certain point where it shows, or you'll see what it does, and you'll have to say, "Oh my God, what in the world did I just watch?" Because that's what I said too. I had to double check, double think, look at this multiple times to really even make heads or tails out of it. And yeah, focus. That was about as good as I could focus on it at this point. But it does get a little bit better. Um, like I said, it's some crazy, crazy footage. So again, this boat has been displaced upward. The other boat is displaced upward, even though it has um, a reflection above it. Now look here, look at that reflection above it. Now it almost looks like another boat above it, right side up. But it kind of goes in and out, in and out. So you really aren't quite sure what you're seeing there, but if you look at the white on the top, the white on the top. Watch this red boat. Watch this red boat now. You're going to see some wild stuff right here. And I'm just going to let it play. Now you're seeing this closer boat mirroring underneath it, but is it mirroring? It's a good question. Is that boat really where we think it's at? No, it's not. That boat ain't nowhere near where we think it's at. And you'll see here in a moment when the ass end drops out. And this should have got a lot more attention if people would just look at it instead of ignoring it. Or, I think it had 225 views and maybe 10 comments. That's it. It's like, wow. Yeah, I know it's kind of blurry. Um, but again, you know about how if something's distorted, you cannot focus in on that distortion no matter how hard you try. And that's why, I'm honestly, dude, I am at the point of giving it up. I say I'm going to do a little series of videos, even using part of this. Uh, and I'm going to redo that one little test I did. But, you know, this is crazy footage, dude. I mean, this is crazy footage, and it got shit for attention. It's like, I got to tell you, Sean, you guys are doing some of the most important work, and you guys aren't even getting any credit for it, really. I mean, you do, but you don't. What? What? Wow. Where did that? What happened to that boat? Oh my God. What's going on? Both boats, too. And of course, you know, it would have to be so distorted, maybe that's what got people not to even look at. I don't know. But to me, this is a big one. Because it does just show that there is an atmospheric mirror that is created due to the atmospheric conditions. Now, we use atmosphere, we can use atmosplane, I don't care, but all in all, there is a mirroring issue going on out there. So, again, I say we have all of these um, optical effects that we have to work against that cut shit off, that cuts shit off big time. Fortunately for me, um, I do these observations on a constant basis, so I'm really getting what I would say the most out of my observations more than anybody else. Now, right here, you can almost see where the horizon ends, but that's where that mirroring effect begins, and it's like this big curved mirror where you're it's like curving from the bottom away from you and then back to you. That's how I see it, like a big curved mirror curving, uh, concave mirror curving out and then back towards you. All right, I'm gonna cut it right here, and I'll send you this, and I'll send you the link to that the first video that I made of this. All right, thanks for watching, Sean.